I'm not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for Life in UK Test Part 325. Reading about terrorism and extremism while doing Pilatic leg training. And if you participate in the Pilatic leg training, that is at your own risk. And this year will be about terrorism and terrorism groups. So to the first exercise, it is the Shishio Doshi exercise. We're having one leg out with a flexed foot, and we're bringing it up and again down and tapping it onto the floor with a big toe when again up. The UK faces a range of terrorist threats. The most serious of these, this is a couple of years outdated. The most serious of these is from Al-Qaeda, its affiliates and like-minded organizations. The UK also faces threats from other kinds of terrorism, such as Northern Ireland-related terrorism. All terrorist groups try to radicalize and recruit people to their cause. How, where and to what extent they try to do so will vary. Evidence shows that these groups attract a very low level of public support, but people who want to make their home in the UK should be aware of this threat, which I will like. It is important that all citizens feel safe. This includes feeling safe from all kinds of extremism, vocal or active opposition to fundamental British values, including religious extremism and far-right extremism. If you think someone is trying to pursue you to join an extremist or terrorist cause, you should notify your local police force. I've never read a text written like that about terrorism. I think it's very good. So the UK faces a range of terrorist threats. So for the UK, there are some people who want to do terrorism in the United Kingdom. And the most serious of these is Al-Qaeda, and also its affiliates of Al-Qaeda and like-minded organizations. So this is a couple of years old, 15 years or something like that old, but it's like-minded organizations. So there are some organizations around the world who are a threat to the United Kingdom, and that it is a threat to do terrorist attacks. Al-Qaeda is some organizations of some people together who are a threat and who possibly can do threats in the can do attacks onto the United Kingdom, terrorist attacks. So the UK faces terrorist threats, and there are some organizations who want to do terror attacks onto Britain. We're bringing the leg out with a flexed foot and we're bending it at the knee. The UK also faces threats from other kinds of terrorism, such as Northern Ireland-related terrorism. So we had the troubles, and that 3,000 people died in the 60s, 70s or something, in the 70s or something like that. So in the United Kingdom, there's also another kind of terrorism related to the Northern Ireland conflict. So in the United Kingdom, there cannot happen that terrorism happens. All terrorist groups try to radicalize and recruit people to their cause. So these groups try to take people for them, and they try to radicalize people. They're trying to talk to people or making promotion for them, and they're trying to radicalize people, changing the leg, the other leg out, and bend it the knee. And they're trying to recruit people. They want to get more people with the same mindset, and they're also going to people who are maybe a bit opposed to one thing, and then they're radicalizing them. They are making it more severe, they're talking with them, they're telling more and more things, and oftentimes it also happens that they then lie and explaining stories and trying to radicalize them and telling them that peaceful protest is not enough and that they have to do more and that they have to become radical and that they have to use violence or something like that. So they're trying to find people, and when they're trying to radicalize them and tell them that they should join them and that they should do some things in violence. How, where, and to what extent they try to do so will vary. So that is not everywhere in the United Kingdom and not everywhere the same much, but it can happen. Evidence shows that these groups attract very low levels of public support. So almost no one in the United Kingdom supports terrorism. We are having the leg out, the hammer head shark exercise, we're bending at the knee and we're bringing the flexed foot up. Evidence shows that these groups attract very low levels of public support. So almost no one in the United Kingdom supports violence as a form of expression or to get any goal or anything. And these groups have almost no support in the United Kingdom. But people who want to make their home in the UK should be aware of this threat. So that there is a threat of terrorist attacks, and also that some people are trying to radicalize and recruit people. It is important that all citizens feel safe. This includes feeling safe from all kinds of extremism. Vocal or active opposition to fundamental British values, including religious extremism. This includes feeling safe from all kinds of extremism. So people should feel safe that there's not coming some forms of extremism against their religion in the United Kingdom. They're having the other leg with bended knee and bring it up. The people in the United Kingdom should feel safe that not some group rises up who wants them harm. Vocal or active opposition to... So extremism is vocal. I'm not completely sure what the word vocal here means in this context. So groups opposition to the fundamental British values. So democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty, tolerance of those with different faiths and beliefs, and participation in community life. Vocal or active opposition to the fundamental British values. And people should feel safe that they are not getting harmed for their religion. And people should feel safe from extremisms, religious extremism or far-right extremism. If you think someone... Okay, we are changing the exercise, the other leg out, and we're bringing it to the outside and again in. If you think someone is trying to pursue you to join an extremist or terrorist cause, you should notify your local police force. So if someone talks to you and tells you that you're right about a thing and makes it and puts it worse and worse and worse and tells stories about it and says that you should do something about that something, the violence, that you should use violence to express yourself and that your hatred is right and makes it stronger and stronger and wants to join you to an extremist cause or even a terrorist cause. So if they're telling you should do something, the violence about it, then you should notify your local police force. That is the chapter Terrorism and Extremism. Now, we're not going to do anything new anymore. If you're here to understand respecting the law, to check if you understand respecting the law, and you can go directly to the next part. Otherwise, we will do now some other things, we're changing the leg. So if you're just here for checking if you understand everything about the rule of law, what was it? About respecting the law, then you can go directly to the next part. Now, we want to look here for the verse here, the first verse of the national anthem. And we had already God save our gracious King, long live our noble King, and God save the King, and then send him victorious, and then happy and glorious, long to reign over us, God save the King. God save our gracious King, long live our noble King, God save the King, send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us, God save the King. And the training exercise, the last exercise of this time. We are bringing one leg out, we are bringing it onto the floor, and the outside, bringing it out of the floor and then back. What else did we want to use? The countries. The 6 first that we had, so we're not going to do... Let's do 3 more. So we had already... Antigua and Barbuda, Australia and Bahamas. And when we are having Bangladesh, Barbados and Belize. And now we're having Canada, Cyprus and Dominica. So Canada, we're first having Botswana, Brunei, Darussalam and Cameroon. We're changing the leg. The other leg, and the other. So Botswana, Brunei, and Brunei Darussalam. That is the name. Brunei Darussalam and Cameroon. Botswana, Brunei Darussalam, Cameroon. Botswana, Brunei Darussalam, and Cameroon. We're going to make them in the next part when with the globe and look where these countries are. Now we can talk about the movies first, and the food, and the flowers, and the days, and the musicians. But all that can we do while we're doing a plank. Form on the plank. We're going to start in 5 seconds. And let's start. So there are 4 flowers. And the daffodil is of Wales. And the day in Wales, that is the St. David's Day, that is celebrated on the 1st March. And Ireland has the Shamrock, and there's St. Patrick, the patron saint. And the celebration day is the 17th March. And England has St. George and the Rose, and that is the 23rd April, the day. And Scotland has the Thistle, and that is Scotland has St. Andrew, and St. Andrew is the 30th November. Now the food. There are, for each of these 4 regions, there's a traditionally associated food. England, there are 2, fish and chips, and, had we a name? Beef, the vegetables, and potato. Something like that. And here for Wales, we have a Welsh cake. That is dried fruits, the flour, and spices. Can be eaten hot or cold. And then we had Scotland, where it was haggis. And haggis, it is awful, sweet. I think here the onions and oatmeal. And then we had Ulster fry, Northern Ireland, and that is beef, eggs, sausage, black pudding, white pudding, mushrooms, tomato, potato bread, and sauerbraten. Now, when we had some movies, we had 1935, Sir Alfred Hitchcock, The 39 Steps, then Brief Encounter, 1945, Sir David Lean, then 1949, The Third Man, Carol Reed, 1954, The Killing, 1954, The Bells of St. Trinidad, and that was Frank Launder. Then we had 1962, Lawrence of Arabia, Sir David Lean, and 1969, Woman in Love, Ken Russell. 1973, The Killing Fields. The Killing Fields, Roland Joff. That was 1973 was Don't Look Now, Don't Look Now, Nicholas Roeg. 1973, Don't Look Now, Nicholas Roeg. And we're having 1981, Chariots of Fire, Hugh Hudson. When was The Killing Fields? 1984. 1981, Chariots of Fire. 1984, The Killing Fields. The Killing Fields, Roland Joff. And then 1994, Mike Newell, Four Weddings and a Funeral. And 2003, Touching the Void, Kevin MacDonald. Now, we could do the authors, the artists. We never learned the artists that good. There was Joseph Turner. He raised the profile of landscape painting. There was John Constable. He made Dedham Vale at the border of Suffolk and Essex, landscape portrait. And then there is John Pepys. He made stained glass and engravings. And the pre-river leads, these are Sir John Millais, Dante Rossetti, and Holman Hudson, something like that. And there were more. Someone was doing artists with an H, the sculptors, I mean. And we had 3 architects, now 3 fashion designers. Architects, therefore I wanted to go back to the architects. Who it was. We had Sir Christopher Wren, who made St. Paul's Cathedral. But 3 fashion people. Nell Quant, Xana McQueen, and something. Last 5 seconds. And that's it. So that was it. We don't have time left for a lot, so thank you very much, and the next time.